Hello and welcome to the Bottom Line on Skyline. Asheville, North Carolina is one of the most beautiful places on earth. We have our beautiful Smoky Mountains, the Biltmore House and Gardens, and the most gracious and hardworking people in the state. But is our beautiful city physically changing for the worst? Skyline News has just completed a 6-month investigation into the opioid epidemic in Buncombe County. We have utilized our undercover reporters and cameras throughout Asheville to find the truth behind the opioid epidemic and the public health hazard that is affecting our environment. So before we want to give you a brief summary of what is poisoning not only Asheville, but what is poisoning America.
Nearly all heroin destined for America comes from drug cartels in Mexico and Colombia. It starts with the seed of an opium poppy, planted, then harvested 3 months later. The seed pods are sliced, releasing a milky fluid that turns dark and sticky. This is raw opium in its simplest form. Once extracted, it's taken to labs, where the opium is mixed with hot water to release the key ingredient, morphine. Various chemicals are added, and after several days, the clay-like morphine base is dried and turned into powdery heroin. Cartels smuggle heroin into the U.S. any way they can, but most often getting it through U.S. border checkpoints. Traffickers disguise it, hide it, and bury it deep inside cars, trucks, and yes, even people. Interstate highways are a fast, effective network to move heroin across America to towns and cities. Drug syndicates like El Chapo's Sinaloa cartel have distributors and dealers in virtually every state. The spread of heroin across America has surged in recent years, in part because heroin costs as little as $5 a hit. Traffickers are now mixing heroin with an illegal synthetic form of the painkiller, fentanyl, which is 50 to 100 times more potent. The spread of heroin now a growing threat. This is the poisoning of America.
His mother and I decided to try to get him on some needles.
Sure.
Can you tell me how it works?
Sure. So, I can give you like 40, and then maybe some naloxone.
You do naloxone too?
Yeah. Oh, we do it all.
If he needs to come back, you just come here?
Yep, we're here every Tuesday, 1:30 to 4. In case you get stopped by police, or he does, you're allowed to have everything that we've given you.
Ooh, okay. Does that happen a lot?
Oh, yeah.
What is this exactly? Just so that they know?
So it's a limited immunity. The law that legalized syringe exchange gives people limited immunity to interact with our program. So if you are caught with needles that we've given you, even needles that have residue in them, you're protected under that general statute. Yeah.
Okay.
And they can still arrest you, but you can't be charged with it when you go to court.
What you just saw was one of our undercover reporters speaking with the director of the Steady Collective. The Steady Collective is a needle exchange program where you're supposed to exchange dirty needles for clean needles. The program is supposedly designed to stop hepatitis and HIV infections by issuing these clean needles. And just like in the game Monopoly, you get a get-out-of-jail-free card, and this is what it looks like. If a police officer finds hypodermic needles on you, drug paraphernalia, or heroin residue, and you show them this card, you are not going to jail. And if you do, the district attorney will drop the case. Why? Because it's North Carolina state law. It's called House Bill 972, and it was signed into law in 2016 by the Republican legislators and Republican Governor Pat McCrory. It was passed because too many police officers were getting stuck with needles when they checked the pockets and the backpacks of people they were getting ready to arrest. Asheville police officers tell Skyline that they take every precaution not to get stuck with needles, and that heroin addicts use the law to their advantage. They say residual amounts of heroin may be small, but is extremely high in fentanyl content. In our next report, what the taxpayers are paying for in a bag from a needle exchange. How many times a week is Buncombe County EMS called to an overdose? Who are these drug dealers and where do they like to hang around?